Dick, you want to lead prayer after we're done here? Sweet are the promises, kind is the word, dearer far than any message man ever heard. Pure was the mind of Christ, sinless I see. He, the great example, is a pattern for me. Where he leads, I Jesus every day. Sweet is the tender love Jesus has shown, sweeter far than any love that mortals have known. Kind to the erring one, faithful is he. He, the great example, is a pattern for me. Wherever he leads, I follow Jesus every day. Listen to his loving words, come unto me. Weary, heavy laden, there is sweet rest for thee. Trust in his promises, faithful and sure. Lean upon the Savior and thy soul is secure. Wherever he leads, I'll follow on the way. Wherever he leads, I'll follow Jesus every day.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, thankful for this an opportunity to worship you and to study from your word, that we might draw closer to you. Our Heavenly Father, be with those who among our number are sick. Be with Randy as he continues to heal from his sickness. Be with Rob Garfalo. Be with others. Be with those who are sick, and be with those who have been mentioned that are the young boy that has the brain injuries, that things might go well for him. Our Heavenly Father, be with Todd and Dee as they are at home. Be with others that are confined to home. Judy and Ethel, watch over and care for them. Our Heavenly Father, be with us now. Be with us through this night. Give us safe travels. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Better?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Did you get mine?
Pam, is it over? Is it? There you go.
Answer is C, Isaac.
You weren't looking at me.
I'll quiet down. Number 3, Abraham circumcised his son when the son was how old, according to Genesis 21:4? A, 7 days old, B, 7 months old, C, 8 months old, or D, 8 days old?
Okay, I'm good. Hold this up again. Did you get it? Okay, yeah, I got it.
Did you get mine?
I wrote your names down wrong. That's what's throwing me.
Oh, man.
The answer is D, 8 days old.
Did you get that right? Did you get it right?
Yeah, I waited till you put it up there, then I waited.
According to Genesis 21:5, Abraham was how old when Isaac was born? A, 100 years old, B, 65 years old, C, 84 years old, or D, 110 years old?
Thank you, that helps.
Almost
You get
done.
mine?
Okay.
Can't believe you.
Answer is A, 100 years old. In Genesis 21:6, Sarah said, blank has made me laugh. A, Abraham, B, Isaac, C, Hagar, or D, God?
Okay.
Answer is D. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 7, Sarah said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would blank children? A, raise children, B, discipline, C, birth, or D, nurse?
These are nothing compared to what I was reading.
Nothing seems right.
You know, I mean, where he gets his.
Are, are you reading the new?
Well, I did both, because it is different.
Yeah, the King James versions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Answer is D. According to Genesis chapter 21, verse 8, Abraham made a blank on the day that Isaac was weaned. A, great feast, B, great sacrifice, C, blessing, or D, declaration?
Okay, I'm good.
Answer is A, great feast. Whom did Sarah see scoffing in Genesis chapter 21, verse 9? A, Hagar, B, the son of Hagar, C, one of the herdsmen, or D, a servant?
Thank you. I'm not done yet. Hold on.
Scoffing means like mocking.
Okay, I'm good.
Answer is B, the son of Hagar. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 10, what did Sarah want Abraham to do after she saw the son of Hagar scoffing? A, cast out the bondwoman and her son. B, have him stay outside the camp. C, talk to the bondwoman. Or D, send the boy in the tent to stay.
That'd be the same as time out.
Okay.
Ron, you would know that. You get sent there a lot.
Answer is A, cast out the bondwoman and her son. What did Sarah say in Genesis chapter 21, verse 10, that the son of Hagar would not be with Isaac? A, a friend, B, a brother, C, an heir, or D, a prophet? Answer is C, an heir. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 12, God told Abraham to listen to Sarah, for through blank his seed would be called. A, Ishmael, B, Hagar, C, Isaac, or D, a herdsman.
Okay.
Answer is C, Isaac. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 13, God said he would also make a blank of the son of the bondwoman because he was Abraham's seed. A, community, B, laughingstock, C, great example, or D, nation. There's one on here. I'm going to have to try not to laugh whenever I say it, but every time I see it, I laugh at it.
Okay.
Answer's D, nation. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 14, what did Abraham give Hagar and her son before he sent them on their journey? A, bread and a skin of water, B, a tent and plenty of food, C, only water, or D, only food.
Okay, got it.
Good job, Ron. I'm good. I'm good, guys.
Mason.
Thank you.
A, bread and a skin of water. In Genesis 21:14, Hagar and her son wandered in the wilderness of blank. A, B, Kadesh, C, Hebron, or D, Beersheba.
Okay.
Answer is D, Beersheba. In Genesis 21, verse 16, when the water was used up and Hagar had left the boy under a shrub, she said, "Let me not see blank." A, the death of the boy, B, another day, C, Sarah ever again, or D, my homeland again.
Thank you. Okay.
Answer is A, the death of the boy. In Genesis 21, verse 16, Hagar lifted up her voice and A, sang, B, screamed, C, called the boy's name, or D, wept.
Okay. Thank you.
D, wept. Genesis 21:17 says that God heard the voice of the A, bondswoman, B, lad, C, C, thunderclap, or D, her crying. Like, is thunderclap a real word? Like, what is it?
Thunderclap. Thunderclap.
Like, it's just,
Thunder. You know,
oh, all right.
Okay, I'm good.
B, lad. Genesis 21:19 says, God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a blank of water. A, well, B, river, C, stream, or D, ocean.
Thank you. Okay.
Answer is A, well. According to Genesis 21:20, what did Hagar's son become? A, a herdsman, B, a gatekeeper, C, a farmer, or D, an archer?
Okay. Got it.
It's D, an archer. Genesis 21:21 says that Hagar's son lived in blank. A, the wilderness of Beersheba, B, the land of Uz, C, Hebron, or D, the wilderness of Paran?
Okay.
Wilderness of Paran.
What letter?
D. Sorry. Yeah, D. In Genesis 21:21, who took a wife from the land of Egypt for the son of Hagar? A, Abraham, B, Nahor, C, Sarah, or D, his mother?
Boy, that's a weird way of saying it. Who took a wife?
Thank you. Okay.
Answer is D, his mother. Do you-
I'm good.
Okay. According to Genesis chapter 21, verse 22, the commander of Abimelech's army was whom? A, Abraham, B, the sons of Heth, C, Phicol, or D, Ishmael? Is that how that's pronounced?
As good as any.
Okay.
The answer is C. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 27, Abraham gave Abimelech blank and blank, and they made a covenant between them. A, cows and goats, B, pigs and chickens, C, sheep and oxen, or D, all of the above.
Okay, I'm good.
The answer is C, sheep and oxen. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 28 through 30, Abraham also gave Abimelech blank ewe lambs as a witness that Abraham had dug a well. A, 7, B, 3, C, 6, or D, 5.
Okay, I'm good.
The answer is A, 7. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 31, what did Abraham call the place he and Abimelech had made their oath? A, Kadesh, B, Beersheba, C, Shur, or D, Canaan?
Yeah, keep them on just a second. Thank you. Jax, thank you. And thank you. Good.
Good? Okay. Answer is B, Beersheba.
Did you just say B?
Yeah, B. In Genesis 21, verse 32, Abimelech and Phicol returned to the land of the blank. A, Canaanites, B, Sodomites, C, Hittites, or D, Philistines?
Thank you. Is really the name Fickle?
How else would you pronounce it?
I don't know, I can't read it. I mean,
Might be
I can't see
Fickle.
it.
I don't know.
Hold on, hold on. Oh,
Fickle.
Stick, I'm sorry, you need to
Fickle,
hold
yeah.
that back up for me.
Pickle sounds good to me.
Okay, I'm good.
You good, Kim?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Answer is D, the Philistines. According to Genesis 21, verse 33, Abraham planted a blank tree in Beersheba. A, rubber, B, oak, C, tamarisk, or D, pine?
Now, this is where you messed up because the King James doesn't say that. It says
Right.
grove.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, to get this. The answer is C, tamarisk. And that's the end of chapter 21.
Okay, how many questions are in the next chapter?
17, I think.
17?
It's either 17 or 18. I'm pretty sure 17.
Are you serious?
How many did you miss?
One?
Me?
How many did you miss, dude? Jax, how many did you miss?
You missed 5.
No, 3.
I was gonna say 3 is still too many.
Well, I don't want to go to chapter 2.
Oh, we'll see how good you are. Next one, next.
Here's harder than
Yeah,
the first.
I think so. You guys let me know when you're good. You're good?
Go ahead.
You're good? In Genesis chapter 22, verse 1, when God tested Abraham, Abraham said, blank. A, I have kept the commandments from my youth. B, here I am. C, why do you test me? Or D, my faith will strengthen me.
Oh, boy. This is not right.
Let me see what I've got. Okay, I'm good.
Good? You good? I think Paul said the A, right, didn't he? Pretty sure.
What?
B, here I am. I think Paul said I've kept the commandments from my youth or something along that line.
Rich young ruler did.
Oh, okay.
Lord, forsake me.
According to Genesis 22, verse 2, God told Abraham to take Isaac to the land of A, Beersheba, B, Uz, C, Moriah, or D, Canaan.
I got you, Jax. Okay.
You have to tell them when you're ready.
I'm good.
Answer is C,
No, that's okay.
No, it was in time.
C, Moriah.
The answer is C.
C, Moriah.
Okay.
In Genesis 22, verse 2, Abraham was to sacrifice Isaac on one of the blank that God would show him. A, altars, B, valleys, C, mountains, or D, byways.
Okay. Good.
Answer is C, mountains. According to Genesis 22, verse 3, along with Isaac, Abraham took with him blank. A, a load of wood for the offering and a donkey. B, 2 young men, a donkey, and wood for the offering. C, only his knife and a loaf of bread. Or D, only his knife and a load of wood for the offering.
See, here's the trick, though. According to verse 22:3. So what did 22:5 say? You know, what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, give me a second here. I gotta think this out.
I'm ready whenever Rod's done.
Let me go this one. What'd you do, Shirley? Close your eyes and pick one?
All right. The answer is B, 2 young men, a donkey, and wood for the offering. Yeah, B. And the wood.
Yeah, you have to kind of know which verse.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't read the verse while you're doing it, it'll mess you up. In Genesis 22, verse 4, Abraham had traveled how many days before he spotted the appointed place from afar off? A, 2, B, 3, C, 1, or D, it is not mentioned.
about this?
What?
You wanna know what's sad about this?
Okay.
You know how it says like
I'm just
the
making sure
older
that you
you are,
don't-
like
that
the more like
you know,
wisdom
when
you
you-
have?
Okay, we're good.
What'd you say?
You know how they say like the older you are, like the more wisdom you have. You know what I mean? But I'm.
So you're saying I don't have much wisdom for as old as I am?
I'm just saying.
He might have it, you just can't remember.
All right. All good?
Yes.
Answer is B3.
Praise the Lord.
Is it?
B3. Remember, wisdom comes from experience, though, kiddo. 6. According to Genesis 22, verse 5 through 6, which of these were taken with Abraham and Isaac to the place God appointed? A. Only the young men. The donkey was tied and left behind. B. Abraham's servant. C. The wood for the offering, the fire, and Abraham's knife. Or D. Isaac's servant. Why do you look at me? I ain't giving you the answer.
Okay, I'm good. Good.
The answer is C. The wood for the offering, the fire, and Abraham's knife. In Genesis 22, verse 6, who carried the wood for the burnt offering? A. Isaac, B. Abraham, C. the donkey, or D. the two young men?
Oh, sorry.
Got it? Sue?
I'm still thinking.
Okay, that's fine, I wanna make sure.
I'm gonna,
Okay. It doesn't matter.
I'm wrong. Is it? Oh, that's one thing.
I'm
I
good.
think there's two answers for this one.
A. Isaac.
That's because Abraham was older and wiser.
All right.
That's why you had all these kids.
According to Genesis 22, verse 7, Isaac asked his father where the blank for the burnt offering was. A. Wood, B. Fire, C. Incense, D. Lamb.
Okay. Got it.
That's still rough, though, to know what you're going to have to do and then tell your kid, carry the wood. That would have been real hard.
There was a lot of wood, too.
The answer is D. Lamb.
And they have to carry it up a mountain.
Yeah. In Genesis 22, verse 8, Abraham answered Isaac concerning the burnt offering that God would provide blank a lamb for the burnt offering. A, for himself, B, for our purposes, C, for the two of us, or D, specially prepared.
I don't feel good about this one.
Okay. Got it.
The answer is A, for himself. According to Genesis 22, verse 9, Abraham did what in preparation to sacrifice Isaac? A, laid Isaac directly on the altar but did not bind him. B, laid the wood on the altar and then bound Isaac and laid him on top of the wood. C, laid Isaac on the altar but then removed him. D, cried sorrowfully.
Oops, wait a minute.
You sure got it?
Hold on.
Okay, just a minute. Okay.
Which is bound to be.
Tied 'em up.
Got it?
The answer is B, laid the wood on the altar and then bound Isaac and laid him on the top of the wood. Who stopped Abraham from sacrificing his son according to Genesis 22:11? A. No one. B. The angel of the Lord. C. The two young men. Or D. A great wind.
Got it.
I would change mine, Karen.
You had to change it,
Yeah.
Jax. Huh? I didn't see yours. Oh. Okay.
Answer is B. The angel of the Lord. The angel told Abraham in Genesis 22:12, "Now I know that you, A, are worthy, B, keep every commandment, C, fear God, or D, are fearless."
Jax, did you put yours up? Thank you. Okay, I'm missing, thank you. Penny, okay. Rick? Thank you. I'm good.
Good. The answer is C, fear God. In Genesis 22:13, the animal provided for the sacrifice was A, bull, B, goat, C, chicken, or D, ram.
Got it? Okay, I'm good.
Answer is D, ram. In Genesis 22:14, Abraham named the place A, the Lord will provide, B, a place of shelter, C, the place of the altar, or D, a place of worship.
Got it? Okay.
The answer is A, the Lord will provide. In Genesis 22, verse 17, when the angel of the Lord addressed Abraham a second time, he compared the number of Abraham's descendants to blank and blank. A, rivers and oceans, B, mountains and deserts, C, stars and sand, or D, pebbles and boulders.
Got it. Okay.
Answer is C, stars and sand. According to Genesis 22, verse 18, Abraham was told that in his blank all nations would be blessed. A, seed, B, own country, C, actions, or D, heritage.
Got it. Okay.
The answer is A, seed. I'm pretty sure this is the last question.
It better be.
In Genesis 22, verse 19, Abraham and the young men returned to and lived at A, Hebron, B, Moriah, C, Beersheba, or D, Kadesh.
Got it. Guess. Rick? I didn't get you, I'm sorry. Okay.
The answer is C, Beersheba. That's it.
Before you guys give them back to us, will you guys organize them, please?
Okay, I need, Rod, Sue, what did you have on that last one? Okay, all right, I want to make sure. And,
All you do is hold that back down just for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah.
But we still need to add these two up, and we need to add these two columns up too.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do
yeah.
that. Okay, so these are the scores for those two teams.
Okay. And I don't have to average anything, everybody.
No, because there was five people on the team.
I was more terrified about having to try to average stuff.
Never be scared, we'll figure it out.
Yep, that's right. Hi, how are you? Did you? I haven't seen her yet. Is she nice? Is she all right? Did she?
Rick was in here too, it was getting here, and,
I know, I didn't do what she did, but the Tony was like, oh, I see what she did.
Really?
Oh, well, she had two babies.
Very quick.
That is very
The first time I did, he was bad all these.
Karen.
What?
I know I got the right answer, I just did it the right way.
Okay, it's very helpful. Never mind, you did.
Okay, so there were 27 questions in that first one.
Right.
And he only used one, so that's 26. Right,
Okay.
26 correct.
Okay.
Right, these are all the correct answers.
Okay.
But when I totaled them up, it
Oh,
doesn't seem like
maybe you're
very
not
many.
smarter than me. Good job.
How many units?
1,500 something.
Well, I added these ones up too.
Oh, so you want these two too?
Yes.
Oh, did you
That's
miss?
why, okay.
Okay.
These are my final ones.
Those are
These
your
are
comments.
my
Okay.
you may not want, are you the one of the league? I say this, I am. We are not going crazy.
I did. I'm just a our music teacher.
Hey, I don't do math, I can.
My brain must think.
That many wrong. That many wrong. First two, the second group, I got that many wrong. A lot better.
I think I was just finishing.
I did better than last
She's afraid of the dark.
Because I had to.
She's afraid of the dark.
What, she's like in like her nineties,
I didn't
No,
do
she'll be
that.
98.
And I listened to it, like, going on, we know.
Oh, see, I'm scared of dark and I go to
Yeah, I think my brain was still working. Sometimes it's confusing, you know.
Okay,
Balls. Too many things to pick from.
so Monday night in our men's class downstairs, we were discussing.
lapel mic on?
Have your mic on.
Just talk loud.
We were talking about offering invitations. You know, what's the need? You know, do we need to offer invitation? Do we need to worry about, you know, that type of thing? How should we do it, or is, you know, just discussing that. And so I texted Ken tonight and I said, do you want to do the invitation? He said, no, I can't, I'd stay home with Mom. So, but anyway, why would we do an invitation? What, you know, what's the purpose of it?
In case there's somebody here that wants, and hasn't obeyed the Lord and wants to obey it.
Okay? Give somebody an opportunity to obey the gospel. You know, there's a lot of, even churches of Christ now don't extend an invitation. Because, was it, Alan, the reason they were using was they didn't want to make people feel bad or something like that? to put them on the spot or something like that. But what did Jesus say to the people? What did he tell them a lot of times? Come, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. So he, you know, he gave people an opportunity to, you know, to accept what he was teaching. The apostles, I don't know if we really have do we have any real examples of the apostles giving an actual invitation? I know a lot of times when Paul taught in the synagogues and stuff, they had a lot, it seemed to me like debates, you know, and he would tell them and prove to them that they were basically wrong. I mean, you know, in their belief. And so, and I guess in a sense, you know, they would have had a chance to, you know, a lot of times they fought with him about it. You know, and when he went around starting these churches and stuff, you know, Corinth, Ephesus, and different places, you know, and then he went back and found that sometimes, like in Corinth, they were way off base on some of the stuff they were doing. They reverted back to what they were practicing before with worshiping idols and stuff like that. So he had to teach them and get them back around. So when we give lessons, we try to, at least I do, try to pick something that mainly that it's something I need, but to try to encourage us to do what we're to do. And, you know, just like tonight when we were studying this thing with Abraham and Isaac and all this stuff, and when you go to Hebrews chapter 11, which is known as the faith chapter, but when you read there and start in verse 8 and about Abraham, you know, it says there, by faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place where he would receive an inheritance, and he went out not knowing where he was going. So, first of all, when God called Abraham, he called him from his home country and said, go here, and he went. And I just wonder sometimes, you know, when we're teaching the Bible and something is taught to us and we hear it, are we like Abraham and are willing to do what we got to do, or are we going to, you know, choose not to do it? I mean, if we're talking about our faith, how strong is our faith? How, you know, for us to, like the example, for the guys here, how many of us, when God would say, take your only son you have and offer him for a sacrifice? You know, I often thought about this, you know, that's just, you know, he never even questioned it. You know, he just gathered everything up like we had in the questions and the way they went. And, you know, when Isaac talked about it, you know, he said God will take care of it. So where are we at in our Christian lives when things happen? Where does our faith, you know, what's it like? You know, are we like Abraham? God's gonna take care of it, or do we, you know, fret about it and, you know, get upset about it, or, you know, give up on God, or stuff like that? I mean, you know, our kids, we try to raise them like we're supposed to raise them, and, you know, it don't always work sometimes, but so down the road somewhere, somebody's going to have to, you know, be held accountable for that. I mean, if it's the parents or if it's the kids, one way or the other. I mean, you know, he tells us to bring up our children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, and to, teach them what the Word says, and that they depart not from it. So if we try to do that the best that we can, and then, the kids just decide that they don't want to, that's not for them, who's that going to be on? Anybody got any thoughts or anything you want to share or whatever? Yes.
I just had one thought when you were talking about giving the invitation. One thing about the early church, we have a lot of books that we can study. They did not.
That's right.
And so when Paul was preaching, all he had was what Christ had imparted to him and what he could teach them, not other books. And so I'm sure everybody that he talked to would be saying, okay, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And so I think that's where the tradition came in. I mean, that's just my opinion, but if he's talking about it, the first question they should have is, okay, well, how do I become a Christian?
Which
and so, right. And
happened
so
on the day of Pentecost.
Exactly. And so now, I mean, we've got a lot of things to talk about and study, and because we have the Bible, and so, but we still, that's the main goal that we're here, is to make Christians out of people.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that everybody that we come in contact with knows how.
And Paul told Timothy, and it's a really well-known verse, a lot of times used as a memory verse, is, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. So if we don't study, what's going to happen? We're going to be ashamed, basically, because we're not going to know. And if we don't know, how are we going to help ourselves, or how are we going to help anybody else? Did you have something you were going to say there?
Yeah, a couple things. Remember when in the story of Philip and the eunuch,
Mm-hmm.
and Philip, it says, preached unto him Jesus.
Right.
And they were in that chariot going down the road, and Philip's preaching Jesus. And they got down the road a little ways, and the chariot, he had the chariot stop and said, here's some water, what keeps me from being baptized? Well, as he preached to him Jesus, see, he had to have included.
He got the message.
And that's in chapter 8 of Acts, and then earlier in the chapter, Philip had been to Samaria, and he preached to those people, and they were baptized. Doesn't say that he preached baptism, but it said he preached the gospel, he preached Christ. And then over in Galatians, well, I guess what I should say there is, anybody that preaches Christ and doesn't preach baptism, that's a different gospel.
Yeah, that's not,
That's something else.
because, yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are doing, something else. Well, in Galatians, the first chapter, we all know these verses too, but it says, verse 6, I marvel that you are turning away so soon from him who called you in the grace of Christ to a different gospel, which is not another, but there are some who trouble you want to pervert the gospel of Christ. So it was happening there in Paul's time.
Right.
But even if we are an angel from heaven preaching any other gospel to you than that which we have preached to you, let him be accursed. And of course we know that the next verse says, as we said before, so say I now again, if anyone preaches any other gospel to you than than what you have received, let him be accursed.
Yeah.
So yeah, these people are preaching that are not including baptism, are preaching a different gospel.
Right.
And Paul says that you can't do that.
Right. Right. And when they add anything else too, I mean, and whatever,
Then the other thing I was going to add, and I thought of it as we were going through these questions, is over in Hebrews, it tells how Abraham, by faith, Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac, who had received the promise, offered up his only begotten son, of whom it is said, in Isaac your seed shall be called. So Abraham knew that in Isaac, and God had told him,
Right.
Isaac was, your seed's going to be called through Isaac. And he concluded, it says there, that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, and that's verse 19.
Right.
So we don't think about it as we're reading that story and as we study for those questions, but Abraham went and that thinking, well, God knows what he's doing, he can raise him from the dead or
Right,
whatever.
right.
I gotta do this.
Yeah, and you know, whenever he told him that that all nations are gonna be blessed,
Yeah.
I don't think he thought it was gonna be 100 years, he was gonna be 100 years old when it happened, it's probably,
And he had no sense of what the timeline was
Right,
even gonna
yeah.
be, but he knew God had promised him that, and now he's saying, sacrifice this boy,
And-
and so God must be able to be gonna do it.
and you see what happened there with Sarah, she couldn't wait for God,
Yeah.
she had to take it into her hand, okay, Abraham, take my handmaid and go have, because that's the only way we're gonna have a son. It's not gonna happen. I'm 90 years old. I can't have kids. So, we get to playing around with what God tells us, and then we get into the same mess that she did. Ends up now that nations rose up from Ishmael and stuff, and it wasn't a good thing. I mean, it caused a lot of trouble,
They
but
done frothed up when they did all that, but
yeah,
it is what it is now.
yeah, it's all right. Well, that's all I had. That's like I said, we give a chance to if we need whatever. To make ourselves right with God, we always have that opportunity. So we're going to sing the first and last stanza of number 67, verse 1 and 4. Bring Christ your broken one. All right, you want to stand if you want to? Bring Christ your broken life, so marred by sin, he will create anew, make whole again. Your empty, wasted years, he will restore, and your iniquities remember no more. Blessed Savior of us all, Almighty Friend, His presence shall be ours unto the end. Without Him life would be how dark, how drear, but with Him morning grace and heaven is near. Sam, you want to start?
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us come here today and study more of your word and help the youth out with remembering what is said in Genesis and helping us learn from it. Father, help us to be model Christians out in the world so that people may see the things that we do and